My starting point when it comes to the consideration of any issue relating to free speech is my passionate belief that the second most precious thing in life is the right to express yourself freely.
Rowan Atkinson, a name synonymous with comedic brilliance, has long held a special place in the hearts of audiences worldwide. Best known for his iconic roles in Mr. Bean and Blackadder, Atkinson's brand of humor has transcended cultural boundaries and delighted fans of all ages. However, in recent years, Atkinson has made headlines not just for his comedic talent, but for his vocal criticism of what he sees as the growing influence of woke culture and its impact on the entertainment industry, particularly Hollywood. His sharp critiques have sparked widespread debate, drawing both praise and condemnation, and placing him at the center of one of the most contentious cultural discussions of our time. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more exclusive news. Atkinson's distaste for woke culture stems from his belief that it represents a threat to free expression, a value he holds dear as a comedian. In his view, comedy thrives on the ability to push boundaries and explore controversial topics, often by poking fun at societal norms and taboos. However, the rise of woke culture, with its focus on political correctness and avoiding offense, has led to what Atkinson and many others perceive as an environment of censorship. He argues that comedians are increasingly forced to self-censor, fearing backlash from audiences who may take offense at jokes that challenge their beliefs or sensibilities. This tension between comedy and woke culture is not new, but Atkinson's involvement has given it renewed visibility. His criticisms are particularly potent because they come from someone who has spent decades navigating the delicate balance between humor and offense. Atkinson has always been a master of observational comedy, often using his characters to highlight the absurdities of everyday life. Yet, he has also been careful to maintain a certain level of respect for his audience, never resorting to cheap shots or gratuitous insults. This approach has earned him a reputation as a thoughtful comedian, one who understands the power of humor to both entertain and provoke thought. In one of his most widely discussed statements, Atkinson compared the current wave of cancel culture to a medieval mob, suggesting that those who deviate from the accepted norms are quickly and mercilessly silenced. This comparison is not without merit. In recent years, numerous public figures, including comedians, have faced severe backlash for comments or jokes that were deemed inappropriate by certain segments of society. In some cases, these individuals have lost their jobs or seen their careers severely damaged as a result. Atkinson's critique of this phenomenon is rooted in his belief that humor should be allowed to explore uncomfortable truths, even if it occasionally crosses the line of what is considered acceptable. Atkinson's critique extends beyond just comedy, touching on the broader implications of woke culture for creative expression in general. He argues that the arts, including film and television, are at their best when they challenge audiences and provoke discussion. However, the current climate of sensitivity and outrage has led to a situation where many creators feel compelled to play it safe, avoiding any content that might be seen as controversial. This, in turn, has resulted in what Atkinson describes as a bland and homogenized entertainment landscape, where originality and creativity are often stifled in favor of adhering to a narrow set of ideological standards. Hollywood, as the epicenter of global entertainment, has not been immune to these trends. In recent years, the industry has seen a growing emphasis on diversity and representation, with many studios and production companies making concerted efforts to include more voices from historically marginalized groups. While these efforts are undoubtedly important and have led to some positive changes, Atkinson argues that they have also had unintended consequences. He believes that in the rush to meet diversity quotas and avoid controversy, Hollywood has sometimes sacrificed quality and artistic integrity. This, he contends, has led to a situation where certain stories or perspectives are prioritized not because they are the best or most compelling, but because they align with a particular ideological agenda. Atkinson's criticism of Hollywood's embrace of woke culture is particularly pointed when it comes to the issue of creative freedom. He suggests that the industry's focus on political correctness has led to a stifling of dissenting voices and a reluctance to tackle complex or controversial topics. For Atkinson, this is antithetical to the very purpose of art, which should be to challenge, provoke, and inspire. He argues that by prioritizing ideological conformity over artistic exploration, Hollywood is undermining its own ability to produce meaningful and impactful work. One of the most striking aspects of Atkinson's critique is his willingness to speak out against what he sees as a powerful and influential cultural movement. In an industry where many are reluctant to voice dissenting opinions for fear of backlash, Atkinson's candor is both refreshing and risky. His status as a beloved comedian and actor gives him a platform that few others have, and he has used that platform to articulate concerns that many in the industry share but are hesitant to express publicly. This has made him a polarizing figure, with some praising him for his courage and others condemning him for what they see as an out-of-touch or reactionary stance. Atkinson's critiques have not gone unnoticed by those on the other side of the debate. Many supporters of woke culture argue that the movement is necessary to address long-standing inequalities and injustices, particularly in industries like entertainment, which have historically marginalized certain groups. They contend that the push for greater diversity and representation is not about stifling creativity, but about ensuring that all voices have an opportunity to be heard. From this perspective, Atkinson's concerns about censorship and political correctness are seen as overstated or misguided, a reflection of a privileged position that has benefited from the status quo. However, Atkinson's supporters argue that his critique is not about opposing diversity or inclusion, but about defending the principles of free expression and creative freedom. They point out that comedy, by its very nature, is often transgressive, and that attempts to impose strict boundaries on what can or cannot be joked about risk neutering the art form. For these supporters, Atkinson's warnings about the dangers of woke culture are not an attack on progress, but a call to preserve the open and questioning spirit that is essential to both comedy and the arts in general. The debate over woke culture and its impact on comedy and entertainment is unlikely to be resolved anytime soon, and Atkinson's role in it is emblematic of the broader cultural tensions at play. On one side are those who believe that society needs to be more mindful of the harm that can be caused by offensive or insensitive content, particularly to marginalized groups. On the other side are those who argue that the push for greater sensitivity has gone too far, leading to a climate of censorship and conformity that stifles creativity and free expression. What makes Atkinson's involvement in this debate particularly significant is the fact that he has long been seen as a figure of both intelligence and integrity. His critiques are not the product of knee-jerk contrarianism, but of a deep and considered reflection on the role of humor and art in society. Atkinson has spent decades navigating the often tricky terrain of comedy, understanding that the line between funny and offensive is not always clear-cut. This experience gives him a unique perspective on the current cultural climate, and his warnings about the dangers of woke culture are grounded in a genuine concern for the future of the arts. In many ways, Atkinson's critique of woke culture can be seen as part of a broader backlash against what some perceive as the excesses of modern progressivism. This backlash is not limited to the entertainment industry. It is playing out across many areas of society, from politics to education to social media. At its core, this backlash is driven by a fear that the push for greater inclusivity and sensitivity is leading to a loss of personal freedom and an erosion of traditional values. For those who share this fear, Atkinson's critique resonates as a powerful defense of the right to think and speak freely, even when doing so may be unpopular or controversial. Yet Atkinson's views also raise important questions about the balance between free expression and social responsibility. While it is easy to defend the idea of free speech in the abstract, the reality is that words and ideas have consequences, and the power of media and entertainment to shape public attitudes is considerable. This is why the debate over woke culture is so fraught, and why it evokes such strong emotions on both sides. It is a debate that touches on fundamental questions about the kind of society we want to live in and the values we want to uphold. Atkinson's critique also highlights the challenges faced by artists and creators in navigating this new cultural landscape. On the one hand, there is a growing demand for content that reflects the diversity of the world we live in and that challenges outdated stereotypes and prejudices. On the other hand, there is a fear that the drive for inclusivity is leading to a narrowing of what is considered acceptable in the arts, with creators feeling pressured to conform to a particular set of ideological standards. This tension is unlikely to disappear anytime soon, and it will continue to shape the way that entertainment is produced and consumed in the years to come. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, do you agree with Rowan Atkinson's stance on woke culture? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.